Your chick did not just stop eating. Something inside its body forced it to stop. And if you don't fix that quickly, that chick will become weak, sit down, close its eyes, and die. Most farmers try to push feed. Some even change feed immediately. But that doesn't solve the real problem. Because when a chick stops eating, feeding is not the issue anymore. It is already a symptom of failure inside the system. In this video, I'll show you why weak chicks stop eating, the biological reason behind it, and what you must do immediately to save them. And if you're serious about raising stronger chicks and reducing losses, subscribe to the channel. But first, where are you watching from? Let's start. Thus, many farmers believe chicks stop eating because the feed is bad, the chick is just weak, or it will recover on its own. But that is rarely true. A healthy chick is programmed to eat constantly. Feed is survival. From the moment a chick hatches, its body is designed to search for food, peck, and consume nutrients rapidly. So when a chick refuses feed, it means something inside the body is already going wrong, not later. Already. Most times, what you're seeing is not the problem. It is a signal, a warning, a breakdown that has already started internally. And here's what makes this dangerous. By the time a chick completely stops eating, its energy reserves are already dropping. Its immune system is weakening, and its chances of survival are shrinking every hour. No, but here's the good news. If you understand these signals early, you can reverse the situation quickly. Let's break down the real reasons. Point 1. Temperature stress, the silent appetite killer. Why it matters: chicks cannot regulate their body temperature in the first week. They are completely dependent on external heat. Unlike adult birds, they don't have the ability to adjust internally. So when temperature is wrong, the body switches from growth mode to survival mode. And once survival mode activates, appetite shuts down immediately. Because digestion requires energy, and the body is no longer willing to spend energy on growth. What most farmers get wrong: they think, as long as there is heat, the chick is fine. But that is one of the biggest mistakes in brooding. Heat is not enough. How it matters is correct temperature, even distribution, consistent environment. A brooder can have heat and still be deadly. Too cold? The chick huddles. Blood circulation slows. Energy is used to stay warm. Feed intake drops. Too hot? The chick becomes stressed. Breathing increases, water intake rises, feed intake drops again. So whether too hot or too cold, the result is the same: reduced eating. Deeper biological insight. When chicks experience temperature stress, hormones like corticosterone increase. This hormone suppresses appetite and growth. At the same time, digestive enzyme activity reduces. So even if the chick tries to eat, its body cannot process feed efficiently. What to do instead? Maintain 32 to 35 degrees Celsius in the first week. Use a thermometer, but trust chick behavior more. Ensure heat spreads evenly across the brooder. Practical applications: stand and observe your flock. Tight clustering equals cold. Scattered far equals. Too hot active and evenly spread equals correct. Also check at night. Many brooder failures happen at night when temperature drops. Fix temperature first, because if this is wrong, everything else you try will fail. But temperature is not the only silent killer. There is something even faster. Point 2. Dehydration before starvation. Why it matters: a chick can survive longer without feed, but not without water. Water controls digestion, nutrient absorption, blood circulation, temperature regulation. Without water, the entire system begins to shut down. And the first visible sign? Loss of appetite. Because a dry digestive system cannot process feed. What most farmers get wrong: they assume if water's in the pen, chicks will drink. But weak chicks don't behave like strong ones. They struggle to move. They get pushed aside. They cannot compete. So even if water is available, they may not access it. Hidden dehydration triggers long distance between chick and drinker, overcrowding dirty or warm water stress from transport, or brooding biological support. Water activates the digestive tract. Without it, feed remains undigested. The gut slows down, appetite disappears. Teen what to do instead. Place drinkers close to chicks. Ensure water's clean and cool. Reduce competition. Practical application. For weak chicks, gently guide them to water. Dip the beak slightly if necessary. Add glucose or electrolytes. You'll often notice something powerful. Once a chick drinks, within minutes, it becomes more active. Then slowly, it begins to eat again. Because hydration restores life faster than feed. But sometimes, even hydrated chicks don't eat. That's when the problem goes deeper. Point 3. Gut imbalance. Invisible but deadly. Why it matters. Inside every chick is a developing digestive system, but it is not fully mature at hatch. It is fragile, sensitive, and easily disrupted. You know how the gut contains microorganisms that help digest feed, absorb nutrients, fight harmful bacteria. But in young chicks, this system is still forming. And when harmful bacteria take over, everything changes. What most farmers get wrong, they only react when they see diarrhea smell wet litter. But by the time these appear, damage has already started. What happens inside the body? Harmful bacteria multiply. Gut lining becomes irritated, nutrient absorption. Reduces toxins may be released. So even if the chick eats, it gets little benefit. Eventually, it stops eating completely. Early gut imbalance has been shown to reduce feed efficiency and increase mortality in chicks. The gut is the foundation of health. When it fails, the entire bird declines. What to do instead? Support gut health early, maintain clean environment, use natural antimicrobial support. Practical application. You can use simple natural solutions. Garlic extract, ginger extract. These help control harmful microbes and support digestion. This is especially useful in the first 7 days, because once the gut stabilizes, appetite returns naturally. But sometimes, the problem is not just inside the gut. It is the entire immune system under attack. Point 4. Early disease pressure. Why it matters. One of the earliest signs of disease is not coughing, not diarrhea, not death. It is loss of appetite. Because when a pathogen enters the body, the immune system responds immediately. And part of that response is reducing feed intake. What most farmers get wrong, they wait for visible symptoms. But disease begins quietly, silently, internally. By the time symptoms appear, it has already spread. Biological explanation: the body releases immune signals that reduce appetite, slow digestion, conserve energy. This is called sickness behavior. It helps the body fight infection. But for chicks with low energy reserves, it becomes dangerous quickly. What to do instead? Isolate weak chicks. Early monitor flock closely, maintain strict hygiene. Practical application. Watch patterns. If one chick stops eating, then individual issue. If many chicks stop eating, then flock problem. Act immediately. Clean environment, fresh water, reduce stress. Because once disease spreads, you lose control fast. But there is another cause many farmers overlook completely. Point 5. Competition and weakness cycle. Why it matters: not all chicks are equal. Some are stronger, some are weaker. And in a brooder, competition is constant. 4. Feed water heat. Weak chicks lose. And once they lose, a dangerous cycle begins. The cycle: chick eats, less energy, drops, becomes weaker, competes, less eats, even less. And within a short time, it stops eating completely. What most farmers get wrong, they assume all chicks can access feed equally. But that is not reality. Strong chicks dominate. Weak ones fall behind. What to do instead? reduce stocking density, provide multiple feeding points, monitor weaker birds. Practical application. Create a recovery space. Separate weak chicks. Give direct access to feed and water. Reduce stress. You will be surprised how many chicks recover simply because they finally had a chance to eat. Because sometimes it is not disease. It is not feed quality. It is just lack of access. Point 6. Stress from handling and environment changes. Why it matters. Chicks are extremely sensitive to stress, transport, noise, sudden light changes, rough handling. All of these affect behavior. And one of the first responses to stress? They stop eating. What most farmers get wrong. They underestimate stress impact, they move chicks, adjust brooder conditions suddenly, or introduce new changes too quickly. Biological response. Stress hormones increase, appetite drops, digestion slows, energy is redirected to survival. What to do instead? Keep environment stable, avoid sudden changes, handle chicks gently. Practical application. After transporting chicks, allow rest, provide water. First, introduce feed after hydration. A calm chick eats, a stressed chick withdraws. When a chick stops eating, it is never random. It is always a signal, a message from the body that something is wrong. Temperature stress, dehydration, gut imbalance, disease pressure, competition, environmental stress. Each one affects appetite. Each one can be corrected, but only if you act early. Successful poultry farmers don't just feed birds. They observe. They understand behavior. They respond quickly. Because chick survival is not luck. King, it is management. Remember, you are not just raising chickens. You are building a system that supports life from day one. And when chicks eat well, they grow well. But there is one more hidden factor that silently slows growth even when chicks are eating. In the next video, I'll show you exactly what that is.